said, for coming to this event. We're glad to have you. I think I'd like to start by introducing each of us here, including the students who are kind enough to come, and the current Augustana students, I should say, who are kind enough to come, and they can share some of their perspective on some of the questions as well, especially if you have questions about what a student perspective is or what the student experience is like. So yes, I'm a Dr. Stonedahl. I teach computer science here at Augustana. And my background is in, my research interests are in artificial intelligence and computer simulations. So that's some of the things that I get interested in, but I teach a wide range of courses across the curriculum. Sward, you want to go next?
Yeah, hi. I'm Andrew Sward. I'm Associate Professor of Applied Mathematics at Augustana. The main courses I teach are math modeling, differential equations, the senior inquiry in applied math, as well as like the calculus sequence, complex variables. I also do research with students. I enjoy doing research on cryptocurrencies, math and video games, and other applied math contexts. I'm also the Beeling Chair, which is a math and computer science research opportunity for undergraduates at Augustana. And I'll introduce April next. April, do you want to talk? She's a Beeling scholar that has done research projects with me.
Yeah, hi guys, I'm April. I am originally from Vietnam and I'm a junior majoring in math and computer science. This is my second year doing research with Dr. Sward, and I can tell you that Augustana is a great place to come, especially for math and computer science.
Great. And Ming, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hi. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, just want to say a little bit about yourself and what you're interested in and what you're working on.
Yeah, sure. My name is Ming. I'm a senior at Augustana College, and I'm majoring in computer science and applied math. And yeah, I really like the computer science and math department because the professors are so kind and they care about students a lot. And I got a lot of help from my professor with my job search, which I am currently hunting for a job now. And yeah.
All right, great. Thanks, Ming. Let's see, do we have any other Augustana students that I missed out there?
I think we have Emmanuel here.
So, hi, my name is Emmanuel, and I'm also a junior. Can you guys hear me? I'm who majors in accounting and math. And definitely, I would say mathematics in like Augustana colleges. It's a great course, and the reason I say it's because like you get to have this connection with your professors. You know, not only inside the classroom, but like outside the classroom. You get to learn more about them. Um, and whatever challenges that you face, it's easier to walk up to them and ask them. So I feel like this strong connection between the students and the professors is what makes like the computer science and math department stand out. So yeah, I would always vouch for Augustana College for anyone looking for a program in math and computer science.
Great, thanks. So I think I will have a long list of questions that you have all submitted, so I should probably work on those some. I will ask the current students, April, Ming, Emmanuel, if you have anything you'd like to add or chip in to a response, feel free just to jump in there, unmute your mic, and say something if it's related to the question that that we're talking about. Also, if we have time at the end, I might ask each one of you if you have a piece of advice for international students at Augustana. something that you think might be not necessarily even about math or computer science, but something that international students should think about when they come here to college in the United States, and specifically Augustana, maybe an organization that's good to get involved with, or other things like that. You could do that. Maybe we'll try to do that later. So I have a lot of questions, but I'd also love to answer the questions for you specifically who are here. So again, if you want to put those in the chat, feel free, and I can hit those questions as they come up or whenever. But first I'll start with the list of questions we do have. So someone asked, why should we study computer science in today's world? And I think that's a great question. I think maybe it's also perhaps an easy question, because one of the answers is look at what we're doing right now. What we're doing right now is having a video chat with people from all across the globe, and we're talking to each other. It's connecting people. This kind of technology is only possible, made possible in the last decade, really. And computer science is what's powering this kind of technology. It's what's allowing people to make connections across countries, across great distances. It's what's allowing people to work from home somewhat during this pandemic for those who are able to, even though also, there's a lot of people that unfortunately are not able to work from home currently. But again, it's what's building technologies like robotics to help medical professionals. If we can get more robots in hospitals and other places, then that can help, again, to prevent some of the spread of disease. It can make it safer for people and allow medical professionals to focus on the types of care that they're best at, while allowing food delivery to be done by robots or other things like that. So that's just kind of one example based on the current situation, but computer science and the kinds of technologies that it enables are going to be the economic engine that's going to make the world a different, exciting, more productive place in the future. So I think those are some good reasons. Is from a more personal level, it's a good area to get jobs. There's a lot of demand for computer science, so that's an area you may be interested in. Now, I'd also like to turn over and let Sward give a little pitch for why it's also a good idea to study math in today's world.
Hi. Yeah, thank you, Forrest. So for mathematics, well, we at Augustana, we have 3 different math majors. So we have applied math, pure math, and math for secondary ed. So if you're interested in pursuing a track where you are becoming a math educator, we have a major specifically for that. And also for applied math, it pairs well with so many other applied discipline fields like economics, like finance, physics, chemistry, engineering, computer science. There's just so many other fields out there that have really this underpinning of mathematics at their foundation, that you would benefit greatly from understanding the mathematics to be able to work in any of these other fields. So I would say that would be the biggest reason to study applied math, is that it fits well with a second major that you might be interested in studying.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, actually, we have quite a few students. Well, first off, if you study computer science here, you're required to take a couple of math courses, one calculus course, and then another course on discrete math, which is even more applicable to computer science. And but then many students choose to go on and study more math, picking up either a math minor, or we have a lot of double majors in math and computer science as well. And again, I think even this is, let's see, but okay, so let me move on because I know I have a lot of questions. What fields can you work in with a computer science degree? Again, there's a wide variety. There's some obvious fields like software development, web development, information technology, database administrator, but then there's also less obvious things. Again, I mean, you could end up working as a computer scientist in part of a scientific research team, or doing computer modeling type work. And Dr. Sward teaches a computer model or a math modeling course that uses computer programming and mathematical methods combined. Solve some interesting real world problems. And you could, you could also end up like, for instance, I have a student right now who's a double majoring in, I think, theater and computer science, and she's interested in using computer science, for instance, to do technical type work in theaters, like the technology that's moving, doing lights and sound design, those kinds of things. And I have a previous student that I taught who works at Disney, doing kind of animatronics type work. I have another student who works for ESPN, doing kind of software related work related to their sports. Some students actually go on and do sports analytics with a combination of math and computer science. It's really I think there's a large variety of fields that use both computer science and math these days. So you have a lot of options, and I think it's kind of what you find something that you're excited about doing or passionate about, and then figure out how to apply computer science or math in that area. Why should you choose to study computer science at Augustana College? That's a great question. So if you're already sold on computer science or maybe math, and you want to come somewhere to study it, why Augustana? So I think that we have a great program for a variety of reasons. One is we have a kind of a focus on project-based learning. So some of our courses, for instance, the sophomore level software development course, or some people take it as juniors, but it's typically sophomore, junior level. We get the students working in teams to work on some kind of software project, so they can apply what they've been learning about computer programming in a term-long project where they get to build something. They learn the skills about how to build things together, using technologies for version control and team collaboration. And similarly in some of the other classes, again, we like to use some projects to get people working. In my artificial intelligence class, I have students work on some projects with robots. I have students work on some projects relating to also AI and game playing. So I think it's, it's one thing that we do is try to focus on projects. We also have some interesting opportunities that are somewhat unique to Augustana. One of those is what's called the Web Guild. And a guild is, well, guild's kind of a almost medieval reference, I guess, or going back to old times when people learned special skills by grouping together, and they would teach each other. Like the more experienced people would take on apprentices and teach them. And in our case, it's kind of a student-run business that builds websites for companies. And they have over 200 companies that and nonprofits that they build websites for. And it's a collaboration with students from computer science and graphic design and other fields. And so any student who wants to at Augustana, they can kind of go get involved in that, just join it as an extracurricular or sort of it's kind of like a club as well. And then you could help build a website for some company, put that on your resume, that you helped to build the website for the such and such business. And even if you don't have a lot of experience, it's somewhere you can get involved. They also have both sometimes paid internships, also unpaid internships to get involved with that. Actually, that's kind of also relating to what makes Augustana different or unique, which is question number 4. Question 5, what will the course schedule in computer science look like for the first year? So we encourage students to actually, let me jump this. The next question is it necessary to have programming or coding experience to study CS at Augie? And that's definitely a no. You do not have to have any previous computer science experience. I would say that about half of our students coming in do not. They just take their first course in computer science starting in college, and that's a perfectly good way to go. It doesn't hurt to have some more experience, and that may be useful. Some students who have a lot of previous experience might start in the second course and skip over the first course. If you talk to computer science faculty, we can discuss that with you and try to figure out what's the best choice. But most students would start in the first course. All right, I see there's a lot of questions in the chat too, so I'm gonna get to those in a moment. The first course, right now we teach an introductory computer programming course in Python. And most students would take that during their first year. Although again, if students have a wide variety of interests, and many of our students do, and they choose to double major or and do a variety of things, you don't have to start your computer science until your sophomore year if you didn't want to. But if you, mainly most students would start during their first year. You can fit the whole major in 3 years if you basically if you play your cards right or you work that in. Which is also what makes it easy at Augustana to have double majors and explore multiple interests, not just one, which is a nice thing about a liberal arts college. We're not just focusing on one subject. We want people to get exposed and learn about a lot of different areas, and especially areas that they're interested in. So the second course is a course in Java programming, also about data structures. That's kind of gets into more involved and trickier algorithms about how some fundamental data types work. So now I'm going to move over to the chat. Let's see. All right, what companies do Augie's intern and work for? Why is computer science important for undergrads? All right, let's see. So the companies Augie students intern and work for. So I think it's kind of a variety of different courses, or sorry, different companies that they work for. So some students, for instance, work at the John Deere global headquarters, which is here in Moline. So it's a big company that's global. They have basically outlets and well, they have operations all across the globe. And but here's where they're kind of the main central brain is with the computers that are running and helping to manage all of John Deere's global company. So some students work there, but we also have a variety of smaller companies right here in the Quad Cities. Actually, let's see, Ming, do you want to talk at all about some of the, I know you've been doing a little bit of research and applying for some things and looking around in the Quad Cities. Do you have anything you want to add about the local scene or?
Yeah, I mean, in the Quad Cities, there are quite a few opportunities for internship. If you want to do an internship in the Quad Cities, you can do an internship at Yash, I believe, and some other IT consulting firms, such as Aquint, and you have opportunities. And also, you can also do a lot of internships outside of the Quad Cities too. I mean, it's not a big deal for companies to hire you even if you're not from the area. So I know there are Augie students who work for some really big startup firms outside of Quad Cities. That's fine too.
Yeah, and actually something that's been an increasing trend I've seen is that students are doing what are called internships away, where they do an internship somewhere else, either in the United States or in a different country, which might be, I mean, you're already planning to study in a different country, so, but we have students that go to Denver, Washington, D.C., New York to do internships. There, we've also had people go to Australia and New Zealand to do internships in other countries. So there's, and Augustana has an office called CORE, Careers, Opportunities, Research, and Explorations, and they help students to find internships, to locate them. They help them build their resumes and work on the skills for interviewing to help them get those opportunities and to find opportunities that work well for them. Also, it's good to network with Augustana alumni. I have a lot of students I've connected with on LinkedIn, and I can try to connect them up to other alumni as well as a good way to learn more about the field and potentially to get internships and jobs. Let's see, we have students who work for Motorola, who went to do that, to do mobile app programming. I know there are Augustana alumni working at places like Google as well. Amazon. Some of those are computer science students, and some of those might be like business students or other people who study totally different things but are now working at those large companies, which could provide some interesting insight there. All right. how many courses are required? So for the major in computer science here at Augustana, we now have switched to where we have 4 credit courses. So they're a little bit larger than a typical course at a semester-based university. So right now it's actually just 9 courses that are required for the computer science major if you take 4 credit courses. We also have some shorter 2 credit courses, in which case you might end up taking, you might need to take 10 if you take 2 credit courses. But also students, again, often choose to take more than just the basic requirements for the major. If there's fields or topics they feel interested in, they may take some more courses as well. But those would be the basic number. Is it possible to major in both computer science and engineering? Often goes with math, but interested in robots, mechanical structures. I bet you might be the person who also asked about, yeah, let's see, you asked about robots and mechanical structures in the earlier question too. Yes, nice. I think, did you mention Arduino? Is that right? But the answer would be yes, certainly. We technically, right now we have a physics/engineering degree that's kind of a combined physics and engineering. Augustana is working on creating a more robust engineering degree, like a larger one that's focuses in a variety of different areas. So right now it's kind of combined physics engineering. And they do offer some courses that do digital electronics. I don't know a lot about those because I don't teach them, but I know they do use Arduinos and working with some electronics over there in physics engineering. They have a 3D printer. Actually, we also have a little 3D printer, although ours isn't as fancy as the physics engineering people's. Ours just prints in one type of material and theirs prints in multiple types, and then you give it an acid bath or something. And anyway, so they do CAD and different kinds of design work as well as part of the engineering program. So certainly if you're interested in that, you can combine those things. In fact, someone else asked about economics as a double major. At Augustana, you could really double major in anything, computer science and any other program, as long as you decided early enough and started planning your courses, say your first year. Some majors are relatively small, like communications. If you want to double major with communications, you could fit that in just, even if you decided late, like your junior year, you could probably still fit in that major as a second major. But other areas like business is a pretty large major. Graphic design is fairly large. So if you want to double major in those, you need to be a little more careful about planning your coursework early and talking with your advisor. You'd be assigned a faculty advisor from the beginning when you come to Augustana, and they would help you connect with the right people and to plan out your courses. I've been talking a lot. If anybody else wants to jump in about any of these questions that you'd like to add to those questions, certainly feel free.
If some of the international students could share some of their experience about changing their mind or adding majors. I know I get a lot of questions from a lot of the students in this group about, like, what if I change my mind? What if I discover a new major? I don't know, can one of you share your experiences of like figuring out like you wanted to double major in something unexpected?
Sure. So I'll say I came to Augie knowing that I wanted to study mathematics. So that was like something certain for me. But then along the way, I declared an accounting major, mainly because I tried an accounting class in my sophomore year. Someone just said, just try an accounting class. And it kind of relates to one of your questions that says, do you really need a background in computer science before you study computer science? Like, it kind of relates to that, because I came to Augie with the mindset that if I don't have any background in any of the courses, it will be relatively harder for me to like catch up and like understand certain things. But then that wasn't the case for accounting. I had no background, but then I just tried out the first introduction class, and I ended up liking it. So that's something that I'll just say, like, you should just be open and just try new things. Just because like someone might say it's difficult doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be difficult until you try it out yourself, if that makes sense. So I'll just say, like, just be open and like just try out courses. that you feel you might be interested in, because you never know, you might like it way better than like you previously thought. So
Thanks, Emmanuel. Anyone else want to share similar stories about changing your mind or adding or subtracting minors, majors?
Can I jump
Later
in?
on?
So I came to Augie with like a physics background. I thought I was gonna major in engineering or like physics, but then my mom told me to like take some computer science, and then I took some computer science. And in order to be majoring in computer science, I have to take math, and that's where I found my passions. So really, you just have to like take any class that you want, and then try to figure it out what you like. And for me, it's like I didn't know that I would like math, but like for now, math is the main thing that I do every day. So yeah, well, just try and see what they tell you.
Forrest,
Thanks,
can
April.
you
That's great.
highlight a little bit more about, Forrest, would you be able to highlight a little bit more about the difference of that because of the liberal arts? There's a lot of confusion about what if I go to a large research school, how is that different compared to our liberal arts program?
Sure. Actually, and thanks, April. I didn't realize it was your mother who recommended computer science. I should give her a big thumbs up there. That's great. Sure. So I mean, there are differences. There are pros and cons to coming to a small school, like a smaller school or program like Augustana. So if you went to a large research, or large university, they would offer more courses in computer science. So you'd have, there'd be more potential courses, and they would require more courses for you to take in order to earn that degree as well. So they sort of focus a little bit more on depth. And a liberal arts education, we focus a little more on breadth. The idea being that we want to train people across a wide range of ideas and disciplines, not focusing all your time really on one so much. So we require students to take what are called different perspectives, to take courses in different areas. So you might need to take a course that relates to philosophy somehow, or you might need to take a course that relates somehow to history. So there's kind of, there's a variety there of ways about kind of ensuring that the education is well-rounded. And part of that too is we're going to require students to become effective communicators. So that may involve opportunities for presenting. For instance, the software development class I mentioned, at the end of those projects, the student teams need to get up in front of an audience and talk about what they've created, how they built it, and similarly throughout the curriculum, in a variety, like in my artificial intelligence course, the students need to be writing blog posts where they're basically writing sort of weblog articles about recent trends in artificial intelligence and how they relate to the class. So not only in other courses, but within the computer science courses themselves, we want students to work on a variety of skills, not just technical skills, but also what are called soft skills sometimes. And these are really important both for gaining employment. These are things businesses look for. They want people who are effective communicators. They want students who have a perspective about ethics and how to be ethical citizens and to make the world a better place. Well, they want to make profit too, but hopefully they want their employees to, they also want their employees to do the honest thing and the right thing in situations that can be challenging, so that their companies don't get in trouble for insider trading and things like that. So, and not just because employment wants it, but because hopefully you will lead a better and richer life as a result of having experienced more variety of things. And hopefully the goal too is that we want to train students to learn how to learn quickly and effectively. In computer science, new technologies and languages keep coming up, so we don't try to focus on just whatever the latest technology is, but rather we want to focus on deeper principles so that if you learn these ideas, then you can adapt and change with the times and keep learning new things. And if you do go into computer science careers, you will have to keep learning new things throughout your whole life. It's not something where you learn one procedure and get to apply it over and over again and just keep doing the same job. Your job will change. Technology keeps changing and your job will change too. Your career will change. The world will change. This is sort of inevitable at this point. And becoming better acquainted with the technologies that may be changing this world, including artificial intelligence is one. Another possibility might be blockchain and cryptocurrencies. That's something that Dr. Sward is very interested in. Did you want to say a little bit more about that, Andrew?
About blockchain or?
Yeah, sure. And actually, I know some students also asked about research opportunities for international students at Augustana. And I know, so maybe research, you could talk a little bit about the research opportunities for students and along with that, the blockchain work you've done.
Yeah, so we have, at least in the Math and Computer Science department, we have something called the Beeling Scholar Program, which is open to all students, international and domestic students that are interested in working on a research topic. And it could be in computer science, it could be in math. It's just whatever you're interested in. We have funds available to purchase resources like books, or maybe you want to do an online course in something specific that we don't offer. We can fund that. And if you have some very interesting research, we have funds available to travel to conferences so students can present that work at conferences, either the local conferences in Illinois or the national conferences. And so I myself and Dr. Stonedahl, along with a student a few years ago, did a project on Bitcoin and how to store artificial data or arbitrary data in Bitcoin's blockchain. So things like MP3s or pictures or other files, how those are stored in the blockchain. And we published that paper. It was peer reviewed. It's currently listed on Augustana's Digital Commons website, which is the library's archive for student and faculty work. And it's one of the top 5 most downloaded papers at Augustana. So definitely this is a place where your research can reach a global audience. The types of work that we do really does have an impact worldwide, and we're always looking for talented students that have interesting ideas. And I also want to say we haven't talked about data science at all, but we also host, or at least co-host, the data science major at Augustana. And so that's another thing that is very cutting edge that we're doing. We've just hired a statistician. We've just hired a machine learning specialist. So we have some new faculty that are joining the Math and Computer Science department with specializations and sort of a lean towards data science and data analytics. So that's another reason to study computer science and another application of computer science in the current field. So.
Great, thanks. Briefly again, so if you went to a large university, there would be more classes, more resources, but those classes would be larger. I saw a question in the text about the average class size from Rohan there. And our classes in computer science, I haven't taught a class that was larger than, I think 29 was the largest. And I've had classes that are more like, some of them are like 12 students. I'd say on average at this point, it's sort of a little bit it's above 20, but not a lot above 20, kind of in that range. Whereas if you go to a large research or a large university somewhere, you could end up with an introductory computer science course that has like 200 people in it or something. It's like a giant lecture hall where everyone's, trying to learn computer science by listening to a faculty member up on a stage, and then they might have some smaller discussion sessions, but those wouldn't be with the actual professor. Those might be with some other students or things like that. So it's a different approach. That's sort of like mass education, trying to teach a lot of people efficiently So there's trade-offs there, and some people do really well in that kind of environment, but we think that more people thrive in where you have small courses, you get to know your classmates really well. So that way you kind of build a little community, you hang out in the same labs and buildings, you have the same students in the same classes, you see your professors more often, you can come into our office hours. In a large research university, you may not really be able to see the faculty outside of class very often, and you don't get to build a relationship with them. And so when we learn more about our students, then that also lets us write recommendation letters and help connect them to employers or graduate school in a way that's sort of a more personalized and that you don't really get at a large place. So there are pros and cons. And let's see, I think we're running a little low on time. I want to make sure I do answer all the questions people have in the chat. Devin asked about prior knowledge, if without prior knowledge find it difficult or demanding. And someone else had asked about what in the, yesterday or previously, they sent a question about what qualities do you see in students that make them good in computer science? And those are kind of related. It's not about prior experience. We have plenty of students who come in with no prior experience and they just thrive, it's great. It's really more about problem solving and whether or not you enjoy this kind of problem solving that you have to do in either math or computer science courses. And it's kind of like, it's a lot of puzzles and some of them are frustrating. And some people, like you can end up spending 2 hours trying to fix something to make your program work. And some people find it so frustrating, they just don't want to do it again, okay? And some people find it frustrating, and then when they get it to work, they're so happy that it makes it all worthwhile. Like it just, they spent 2 hours on it, but then it works, and they're really happy, and the happiness outweighs the frustration. Everybody gets frustrated. That's I get frustrated trying to fix things that should work or make something work. But it depends on whether you enjoy the outcome more and whether or not you don't let yourself get too emotional about it. You just kind of keep working and figuring until you figure the puzzle out. Those are the people that I think are more successful. Again, it's about persistence. It's about continuing to push on even when things are difficult and not just kind of giving up when things seem too hard. So specific courses on software engineering. Well, we talk about software engineering as part of software development course, and we also do some more of it in the senior projects course. So we do some of that. Possible to do 2 majors and a minor? Sure. We have students who do 3 majors. I don't necessarily recommend it. The triple major thing, it's kind of crowded. I have a student who did 1 major and 3 different minors in like German, history, math. So yeah, pretty much any combination that you want, you could work on that. Possible of Spanish language in a minor and double major with graphic design. Yeah, it'll be a little tight. I'd probably, again, try to plan out courses early on. That should be possible. Average class size, specialty of Augustana computer science. Also, some people asked about whether we're more focused on like software development or cybersecurity. And I would say we're more focused on software development here, sort of a software development. Then there's some extracurricular opportunities for like web development. We do offer a course in cybersecurity. It's just 1 course right now. There is some discussion about trying to expand cybersecurity at Augustana in collaboration with the accounting department, which is actually, we have a very forward-thinking accounting department. They're interested in data science, they're interested in cybersecurity, and they have some expertise in some of those areas. The business management information systems also might give you some potentially security-related skills by taking that. But yeah, we focus more on software development and programming in our particular thing. But we do have courses in a wide variety of areas, including in networking, understanding operating systems and how they work, database, let's see, human-computer interaction. We're going to have a special topics course on that coming in January. So we have a little bit of a lot of things. But yeah, if you were sure you wanted to do all cybersecurity all the time, we don't have a in-depth program at this point. Maybe that'll develop in a few years and you might benefit from some of those, but it's not like a whole degree in cybersecurity or something like that. Extracurricular activities. from Ellen, I apologize for not pronouncing your names correctly, El Natam. We have a robot contest in each spring. I had to cancel it this year because of the pandemic, because we couldn't meet in person. We have a coding team contest in the fall where people get together. So students they practice in teams to solve puzzling computer science problems. And then we take a field trip for a day to go compete against other teams there. There's a video game development club that you could get involved in, that's student run, trying to work on building video games, developing them. Let's see if there are any other extracurriculars that I'm forgetting about. Well, let's see, we do have weekly seminars where we have in math and computer science, where students get together to hear interesting lectures or watch a movie. It's related to math or computer science. Let's see. More about academic clubs and international organizations, some projects we could do as a math major. Those sound like good questions for the students there to take. If Ming or April or Emmanuel wants to talk about academic clubs or international organizations, students can build up clubs on their own interests. That's how the video game development club happened. I also helped some students form a photography club a few years ago. And also, yeah, projects related to the math major. Who wants to jump in on any of those?
For us Vietnamese, we do have a Vietnamese student association where we hold events and spread the Vietnamese culture to the campus. And yeah, it was really fun. And not sure. Yeah, we do have a lot of other clubs, international clubs on campus. We do have, let's see, Asian Student Organization, ASO. Yeah, we do have a lot of other clubs for other international students. So yeah, you could take part in those clubs, and yeah, it would be really fun to do activities like that.
I've seen some interesting events advertised on campus from a variety of different international groups or different nations. I don't, definitely some celebrations and things like that that are fun to attend. And it's fun to learn about different cultures too in different areas. Math projects. See, April, do you want to, or Emmanuel, you want to talk about any projects you've worked on in math courses, for instance, or?
Yeah, sure. So I've been working with Dr. Sward for the Building Scholar program for 2 years now. So the first thing I've done is I took a independent study about topology, which Augustana is not, like, we don't have that class yet. So that's one of the things that I did. I also did some research about Rubik's Cube. Actually, I have one right here. Rubik's puzzle, actually, it's not a cube. And then over the last summer, me and Dr. Sward were working on like a differential equation project about the pursuit curve, and we actually presented it at MathFest. So there is a lot of things that you can do with math, and being a lot of projects that we can do for a math major. All you have to do is talk to someone in the department, like Dr. Sward or Dr. Stonedahl here is helpful too, and then try to figure out what you want to do, and then just do it. Like, I mean, we are not, like, Augustana is not a research university, but the research opportunity that we have here is really good for a liberal art, small liberal art college. That's all. That's I want to say.
Personally, I also did BLIN with Dr. Sward just for 1 year. And I didn't know what projects that I wanted to work on. So we just kind of started out with abstract algebra in my sophomore year. So like it's like a 400 level class. Um, and I just wanted to learn more about structures in general. And I just wanted to see how that's going to span out. Because like the more you learn about, personally, that's my personal opinion, but then the more I learned about abstract algebra, uh, the more, the more open I am, the more I could probably see, what do you call it, certain projects that I would like to probably concentrate on. So I kind of started out, I would say, kind of broader, on a broader spectrum. And I feel like the more you kind of grasp the details within abstract algebra, then you can find something related, or you can probably narrow your field down to something specific that you feel you would like to explore. So personally, I didn't set out to be like, oh, this is what I wanted to study. But then all I knew is that I wanted to do some research. And I started out in abstract algebra. So yeah.
Great, thanks. Let's see if I can cover a few more bullet points here, a couple or more questions from the chat. Average amount of classes in a day, I would say students typically have either 2 or 3 classes on a day, although they could have 0 if they take all Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes. And students would typically take 3 or 4 courses per semester, and those might be on Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or something else. So again, I think, you're not spending all that much time in class, certainly compared to what high school or typically high schools. Instead, you spend a little less time in class, but you spend more time working on homework and projects outside of class. So you need to be a little bit more mature in college to to kind of manage your own time, because you're not going to get your classwork done during class. Or things like that, and you maybe have a little bit more homework, but you have more time to do it in. It's a manage of structuring your day and also around your athletics or other extracurricular events if you're doing those. Let's see, graphic design, visual effects, and animations. That's not really a computer science. You actually mentioned graphic design, and actually the graphic design program does have courses on visual effects and animations, but those would be separate courses within the graphic design major. But you don't have to be a major to take them. You could take them anyway. I do have one computer science course I teach as a 100 level kind of fun course during January term sometimes, that's about computer art and how to get the computer to generate art using computer code, which is fun. It's not part of the computer science major officially, but for students who are interested in that, it might be a good opportunity just to explore and kind of channel both your artistic side and your computer science side. It's a really fun course. And Suraj would like to know about AI and machine learning. So right now I'm teaching a course on AI. It's kind of a broader course. It will do a little bit of machine learning, but it focuses more on some of the traditional different techniques of using search and algorithms to play games and make computers behave intelligently, a little bit of chat bots and natural language processing, a variety of things. We're also introducing a new course entirely on machine learning, which a computer science professor will be teaching next year. It's in the data science catalog, so it's a data course, but it'll be taught by a computer scientist, and that one will focus more entirely on machine learning rather than broader artificial intelligence and some of the questions that go along with that. Let's see, were there any other questions there that I missed in the chat? Okay. I think that may have gotten most of them, hopefully. Any other questions, last questions people want to throw into the chat there? I'm guessing this ends before 10, is that right, Liz?
So we are scheduled till 10 a.m., but we don't have anything after this. So, but I also want to be respectful of your time. So we can also leave maybe the next 10 minutes. Specifically, I think that it would be great for our international students, Manuel, Min, and also April, to share some of more experiences I know that a lot of students are nervous about, you know, packing up their bags and moving across the globe, starting college in America. And so if you can share some of, you know, just some words of advice that you have, if you can remember back when you were a first-year student and your heart was racing as you began your college experience, like what advice do you have for students to make sure that they're successful in their college experience in the United States? Maybe if we could with you, Emmanuel.
I would say like what helped me in my during my early days in the United States is like the support system that I had, not necessarily like from my friends, but also from faculty members too. So I would say like a word of advice that I would give to like prospective international students is like just be open. You know, when you come down to the United States, yes, you're alone, but then sometimes you should just like just be open, be friendly, just try and meet new people because you never know. Those are the people that will like help you to get well grounded and having a good start in Augustana College, like is certainly the best, you know. So I'll just say like just come in here, have like this friendly face, be open, try new things, meet new people, and certainly everything will be okay. Though you probably feel like a little homesickness a bit, but then everything will be fine like as time goes on. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Min, it's so great to see you. Min comes over to my office quite a bit, so I'm so used to seeing him in the office. Min, how are things going? Can you tell our prospective students a little bit about your 4 years at Augustana and some cool things you've done? One thing that Min won't brag about it, he also did a study abroad program in Australia and has done some really, really cool things at Augie, including being the president for Vietnamese Student Association. So Min, can you tell the students some things that you've been part of and get them excited about Augie?
I'd like to say that Augustana has a lot of things to do. I've been in the boxing clubs for some time, and it was pretty fun. And VSA is the main thing that I did when I was a freshman and a sophomore, actually. Yeah. So we plan and we organize and we do a lot of fun stuff together. And we presented the Vietnamese culture to the campus. And I know that that one time we invited the whole math department to our event, which is really fun. Math CS department. And I also did a study abroad in Australia, and I worked for a startup over there. And I had a chance to explore Australia and New Zealand too. And I took a lot of pictures. I talked to a lot of great people, and I discovered many things I didn't know about the world. So that's really interesting. And I also have an advice for you guys. I know that you guys are really nervous about coming to the US, especially for some of you, you travel across the world to come to US. I'd say that at Augie, we have a big international population, and we do have offices that are designated to help international students to do well in college. So you don't have to worry. You have friends and you have people who support you over here. And I was really nervous and worried about coming to the States. I've never been here ever before, so I was nervous, but things turned out so well. I made a lot of friends, and I know that there are people who are on campus available to help me through difficult times.
So, Min, I know that you use your Augie Choice, right, for your Australia experience. Can you tell the students what Augie Choice is?
Yeah, so Augie Choice is a $2,000 fund for you to do research or study abroad or do internship or pretty much do anything that you'd like. I mean, we were passionate about. So when you come to Augie, you have that $2,000 fund. You can go to, I know that my friends went to Texas for an internship at a graduate school. They did some research, pool research, and I used my Augie Choice to go to Sydney, Australia, and yeah, it's a really interesting experience and one of a kind experience, I'd say.
I know a lot of international students want to have these grand experiences, but when you're thinking about the finances and what is it going to cost me to fly to Australia, it's pretty awesome to know that Augustana is going to back you with that $2,000. Emmanuel, I forgot to ask you, do you use your Augie Choice already, or do you know how you plan to use it?
I don't know yet, but I'll probably use it before like senior year, maybe in a research something, but for now I don't know.
Cool. Yeah, so just so you know that each student gets this $2,000 grant. It's really awesome to think of whether you want to do an internship opportunity, study abroad, research, all those are great opportunities. What about you, April? Can you tell us a little bit about, have you used Augie Choice and what some other experiences that you've done?
Yeah, sure.
And advice for students?
Yeah, so one piece of advice that I would want anybody to get that is to talk to people, just talk to like everyone you can, because like, well, we all know the benefit of networking though, right? So college, I think is the best time of your life, because like is when you transition from a kid to an adult. So that's the best time of your life. You have to like make the best of it, and don't be afraid to talk to anyone. Have fun. Maybe go to the bar sometimes. I don't know. And just relax and have fun, because like college is the best time of your life. When you get old and then you look back, it's the time that you will remember the most, I think. And I made a lot of great friends here. So I hope that you can be able to do that too. And my Augie Choice, I am using my Augie Choice for the research with Dr. Sward this summer. And I'm very excited about doing that.
Thank you. For Sandra, any last words that you'd like to tell prospective international students before they move to America?
Well, there was one piece actually that I guess when Ming was talking about social support from the different, from the international, different groups, international offices, etc. There's also academic support. So Augustana has an extensive tutoring program, and so particularly we have group tutoring that basically in the evenings, 3 days a week, or sometimes more, but the math and computer science upper level students will be there and offer tutor sessions. They'll be in the computer lab to help people with their homework if they're trying to work on those challenging problems or something in the first level course. And also we have individual tutoring as well that's available to students. If they're struggling in a course, they can request an individual tutor. And again, this is all free. Augustana just provides these services. So, and that, so if you're struggling in a writing course, there's resources to go and get help with writing papers, things like that. If you're struggling in a math course, if you're struggling in your biology course, or even if you're not struggling, you can go to these just sort of drop into the group tutoring sessions. So there's a lot, again, that Augustana wants all of our students to succeed. We want them to learn, and we provide extra resources to try to help them learn, whether that's the professor coming into the professor's office to get one-on-one help with the professor, or getting help from your peers, from tutors, just kind of a wide variety there. So again, trying to take some of that stress away if you're worried about whether you'll succeed academically or not. There's a lot of people here for you to try to help support that.
I guess I'll jump in and say that I think the best part of math and computer science at Augustana is the community. We have a great space in Olin, like great physical location where we have a student lounge where students can hang out and do homework problems together. They can get tutoring services in that lounge as well. And then down the hall from that is our math and computer science computer lab that has 20 machines available for students to work on. Students can use that lab to work on projects together. Faculty will teach classes in that lab, and faculty can also have office hours in that lab to help students with their projects or research. So, I mean, it's really a great community. You get really close with the faculty. You'll get close with your other students that are also in the same classes as you. And it's all about working together and building relationships with faculty and other students.
The only other thing I guess I'd want to add is that, again, you're welcome to contact us. We can post, I guess I'll post my email address here in the chat. It's also, of course, available on the website. And Andrew, do you want to do that too? And so if you have other questions about math or computer science at Augustana, please feel free to email us directly. We respond to student inquiries from prospective students to try to answer your questions that way as well, in case you have other questions that come up, or if we didn't answer your question well enough during this information session.
Thank you everyone for participating in today's chat. It was so awesome to see you coming in from all across the globe. Vietnam, I'm seeing Nepal, Ethiopia, Morocco, Japan, Kenya. So awesome. We can't wait to have you here at Augustana. I know that some of you might have some other questions. So as our professor said, send them our way. Our job here is to help you and answer all of the questions you may have. The other thing I want to tell you is that this coming Thursday, we're going to have an alumni chat. So some of our students who've already graduated from Augustana and who are now working in the United States. I know that there are actually several computer science majors participating in that conversation. So if you want to hear from some students who already went through all that process of applying and working in the United States, please put that on your calendar. It'll be the same time on Thursday. So I'll send out an invite as well. And I'll also pass along Emmanuel's and Min's and April's contact. Sometimes it's just nice to connect with students. Thank you so much for participating in today's chat. Once again, happy Mother's Day in Nepal. I know it's Ramadan and many of you are celebrating as well. So thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us today. And we can't wait to see you at Augustana.